Hello guys, and welcome back to Reborn with Michael Watson. Today in this video we are talking about the 3 best books that you need to read if you are trying to heal your body and even heal your life. But this one's mainly focusing on healing the body. So guys, all of these books obviously have great implications for life in general, but are you looking to heal your body and you're not sure where to turn? Well, here we go guys. These 3 books are going to absolutely change your life. I am going to actually do them in an order that I think I can't put them in order. They're all wonderful, but these 3 books are fantastic. I'm going to start with book number 1. You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. Now, Louise Hay, for those of you who don't know her, many of these teachers that you love and listen to, you wouldn't have ever heard about if it wasn't for her. Let's go back into detail of her a little bit before I tell you about the book. So she was a woman who unfortunately went through a lot of abuse as a child. She ended up getting cancer and she was able to heal her cancer through being able to let go of her past, forgive people that harmed her, forgive herself, learning to love herself. She works a lot with mirror work and affirmations, and she does a lot of trying to release past hurt by saying, I'm willing to forgive. She's a fantastic woman. She then opened up Hay House, which has then had wonderful authors in it like Dr. Joe Dispenza, like Wayne Dyer, like Abraham Hicks, and many others. So you must know about this woman, and if you don't, I want you to know about her now. You should read her book, You Can Heal Your Life. It is one of the best books out there. The reason why I say it's one of the best books for you to heal your body as well, because in the middle of it, she has a wonderful appendix. What would you call it? Appendix? I'm not sure what you call it, sorry guys. But she has this wonderful part of the book that absolutely you can look up. So say you have tonsillitis, you can look up and see what the emotional reason behind you getting that is. For example, she says that cancer is resentment long held. Resentment long held that starts to eat away at the body and then form cancer. So she says to overcome cancer, we must release that resentment, forgive the past, let go of the past, and learn to love ourselves and love the now. And when we get into that place, we have miraculous healing. She also is a great component of eating the right foods too. She doesn't go into too much detail on that, but she talks about how we must also feed ourselves the right thoughts, the right foods, and the right feelings. By doing so, we'll heal our body. So I think she's fantastic. It's a very practical book. It's a wonderful book. I used it and I listened to it on repeat when I was touring the UK as a singer in the show Jersey Boys. And, so I listened to it and I use those affirmations to make me, help me find the show even easier, help me to, let go of any pain that I had from missing my family. It just helped me so much. Affirmations are so powerful when used correctly. So if you are going to read that book, this book is a fantastic book on how to heal your body and heal your life. So that's a slight quick look into that book and what it means and why it's so good. But she talks a lot about letting go and forgiving the past. Because you know what it's like, guys. I know people like Dr. Joe Dispenza, who I talk about a lot. He says, don't think about the past, overcome the emotion. This is just another way of doing that. Sometimes to overcome the emotion, you must forgive the person that hurt you. So if you can work on forgiveness, forgiving yourself, letting go of guilt, shame, all of these emotions, that all the other great teachers out there talk about. She's the original OG teacher, and she is the person who has then sort of released the books of these other great teachers. And she's brought so many wonderful teachings to the world. You see, there is no right or wrong way to heal yourself or manifest in your life. There's just the way that works for you. And her way is affirmations. She says if you think about it like laying a seed in the ground and you keep watering it day after day, you make the soil good and you keep watering it, and after a while it's going to flower. So the first book is You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. Now, the second book is The Biology of Belief by Dr. Bruce Lipton. Fantastic book. A book that I read. I read it at a time when I had this fear of losing my hair, and I just thought, well, if I can change my genes with my thoughts, then I can change my genetic destiny. And they were talking about it in much more important things like cancer and various other illnesses. But the reason why I love this book, because it doesn't just delve into pseudo-science and sort of spirituality. It's very, very science-based. Dr. Bruce Lipton was a researcher in cells and how they work, epigenetics, things like that. He discovered that receptors on the outside, there was receptors on the outside of the cells. Why this was important to him is because he's going, surely those receptors should be on the inside, you know, taking that information in. And what he worked out from that is that if they're on the outside, then that means that they're collecting information from outside the cell and from somewhere outside of us, outside the body. And what that started to make him realize is that, wait a second, and it changed his whole life from someone who was purely science, no spirituality, to realizing that there was something deeper, because he realized that they were picking up signals from the environment. And that signal from the environment is what then changed the absolute composition and genetic expression of the cell. So what happened was the environment was starting to signal the gene rather than the gene signaling itself because of a genetic destiny. What he started to realize then is that that meant that it isn't the genetic destiny or from your past that sort of decides whether you're going to get cancer and various other issues and health issues. It's actually your response to the environment and the sort of nature of the emotional composition of the body that affects the cells and affects the gene expression. Well, who are good friends? Dr. Bruce Lipton and Dr. Joe Dispenza. Guys, I was filming that video and my battery died. What can I do? So you know this video is edited. I just have to jump from one side of the room to the other. But look, I'm really excited about sending this. Number one, it's got to be a book by Dr. Joe Dispenza. You Are the Placebo has an honorary mention here. Trust me, if you haven't read that book of his and you're working on healing, read it. It's so wonderful how he goes into detail about these different trials of medicines that the placebo was working just as effective until it started to lose its emotional connection to the student, you see? And people having sort of fake surgeries where they've got a keyhole cut and they actually believe that their knee had healed. And they're out there playing golf. And then one day someone come up to them and said, you didn't actually have the surgery, you were in the test group. And they said, I didn't care. My pain's gone. I'm healed. And they went on, and even when they knew, they still didn't have the pain come back and they lived a normal life. So some of those stories are really amazing to hear. There's also the nocebo effect he talks about, where people who saw dramatic things in a war have turned blind and things like this, just because they refuse to see anymore. So it really shows you how your body can really, in a good way or a bad way, affect you. But if I have to choose one, it's got to be Becoming Supernatural by Dr. Joe Dispenza. Why is that? Because actually, as his work developed, people started to use his process and heal themselves. He's able to go into great detail how, you know, the energy centers in the body, what they do, how they affect the body. He also goes into how meditation can have an effect on the body. He also gives great detailed stories about people. The first story in Becoming Supernatural was actually harrowing. What happens to this woman, you know, and just a tiny part is she loses her husband to suicide. She then starts to find her job really hard. She gets iller and iller, and she just goes through all these horrible illnesses, lesions around certain parts of her body, and her body is really just shutting down. And that's because she's given up on life. But when she chose herself and chose to believe in life again, she healed. And so there's some wonderful ways to sort of add the science and the spiritual in his book. And that's what I love. You see, in the first book with Louise Hay, it's very spiritual and it's all about a belief system that you have to create. With Dr. Bruce Lipton's Biology of Belief, it's very science-based and there's not much practical way to apply it. What Becoming Supernatural does is it marries the science and the spiritual, and it gives you a way to apply that formula to have your healing. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Sorry that is a bit of a mess, but I wanted to give you the best video I could. All the best. Loads of love to you guys. Good luck on your healing journey. I know you can do this. Any questions, comment down below. Please like, share and subscribe. Take care.